We had such an incredible response to the horrifying eco video that I showed you yesterday, as well as the woman who wants to smother sick babies, that we're going to spend an hour-long special tomorrow night looking at the policies and the people that support this kind of stuff. It's the roots of socialism, Fabian socialism, out of the UK, and you will not believe who's involved. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Make sure you DVR the show and don't miss it. In fact, the next 3 episodes, don't miss. Now, I want to talk to you about an interesting trend that coincides with several of the world's largest currency collapses. A certain powerful billionaire, who kind of has a spooky voice, tends to find himself in the middle of it every time. And they're like, what? What happened? I don't know what happened. And he rakes in billions of dollars while speculating against and driving down the value of currencies. He's famously nicknamed the man who broke the Bank of England. His name, George Soros. Why need a star chamber when it's just me with spooky lighting in a room? What? He isn't shying away from the claim. No, he said, quote, "It is sort of a disease when you consider yourself some kind of God, the creator of everything, but I feel comfortable about it now since I began to live it out." Oh, and he's humble, too. Well, he's made a fortune by speculating in the world economy. In '92, he bet over $10 billion that he could attack the British pound. He was right, made over $1 billion. According to the Telegraph, Soros admitted that his actions had benefited no one but himself, and at the time claimed that the only thing that could save Britain was a common single currency. I wonder if we'll have that argument made soon. He also rolled the dice in '97 in Asia, and many, including the Malaysian Prime Minister, believe it was billionaire speculator George Soros who helped trigger the economic meltdown that spread through Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Still others believe the devaluation of the Russian ruble in '98, which eventually led to the country defaulting on its own debts, was also the handiwork of Mr. Spooky Dude, master of the universe, and kind of comfortable playing God, George Soros. Let me ask you a question. I know Soros's people watch this show all the time. You think they're going to like this? I don't think so. Mr. Spooky Dude is there every single time. And he usually telegraphs things by writing an op-ed piece like, "Hey, I don't know, maybe you should get out of this country's currency." Just saying. Each time vastly expanding his wealth by positioning himself to win big on the demise of a currency. And nearly each time, he's headed to the press to stoke the fear about the currency and say, it's just not feasible anymore. Yeah, and to make it look like he cares, basically to provide cover. "I've been warning you, especially in my last op-ed piece." Well, since he's a billionaire, people believe him. Panic ensues, currency collapses, and he makes billions. Is what he usually says, I'm guessing. Fast forward. Which currency does his brilliant economic mind think will falter next? Last year, he said that a decline in the dollar was necessary because the U.S. economy will continue to drag down the global economy, and that there would be a slow, and should be, a slow decline. In fact, a, quote, managed slow decline of the dollar. Oh my goodness, look what I found. I found a new op-ed coming out from Soros today. The latest Soros prediction, then they come back. Spooky Dude News. Last we left our current episode of the Glenn Beck program, I was telling you about George Soros and how he always seems to coincidentally find himself in the middle of the latest currency collapse. Just last year, he said he thought the dollar needs to be devalued. Today, Soros had an op-ed in the Financial Times titled, "America Needs Stimulus, Not Virtue." Oh, yeah. You know, the story is, it's all about how the economic collapse is the private sector's fault. But forget about virtue. Yeah. The solution? Spend more money. Yeah, Spooky Dude says spend more money. Would spending more money help or hurt the dollar? Would it kickstart a managed decline? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is the start of the latest, Soros push to collapse a currency. I don't know if this is it. Oh, but it's coming. Be prepared. Because powerful people like George Soros would like that to happen. Because they're preparing. Have you? You see, when that happens, it's ugly, usually. Yeah, ugly. The Business Insider, the Wall Street Journal have both recently written about how when it comes, it will be rapid. Nobody will see it coming, and boom, it happens. You know how grocery stores look before a hurricane? Yeah, that's when we think the power might be out for a couple of days. What do you think your grocery store is going to look like if they think the dollar is going to collapse and it's not going to be worth anything? Better or worse than the hurricane thing? I want you to do two things. Maybe more. I don't know. By the way, there's The Shadow Party, great on Soros. You should read it. This one is the coming economic Armageddon. I know, not really something you really like. I just want to be in a good mood and take it to the beach. Not really. I want to warn you, I haven't read the entire thing. So in the end, if like the author is endorsing witchcraft, you know, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know about the witchcraft thing. So I don't fully endorse the book. I endorse about this much of the book, and it's good. It makes a great case for what is coming and why is it coming in religious terms as well. You need to read it, just in case people, you know, get what they want. Then I want you to take the 40-day and 40-night challenge. We're going to show some people here in a minute who took the challenge and how it affected their life. I challenge you to do this because I know a lot of people are going to shrug it off and take it lightly and that's whatever. There's nothing more important than getting your house in order. Before you can fix a problem, and boy do we have problems, you have to get your own house in order. This book comes out in a couple of weeks. I've been working on this one for about a year. It's called Broke. The first third is, how did we get here? It's a history lesson. The second third is, how bad is the situation? And it's bad. And then this one is the solution. And when I say solutions, I don't mean what's politically feasible. I'm not talking about things that are like, well, just vote for the Republicans. I'm talking about the things that nobody wants to face, but we have to face, real solutions. I don't want you to lose hope because nothing is inevitable. But you know what? When you have cancer, and the country has cancer, gang, the doctor says, we're going to do everything we can. And don't you give up hope, because miracles happen. And who knows? Who knows? But it's pretty bad. What does the doctor always say? Just in case, you might want to put your affairs in order. Why? Well, in our case with the country, it's not because we're going to die, but because the country is going to go through tough, tough times. And you need to be prepared so you can be assistants of others. Whatever comes, we're going to be there on the other side of it, and we'll be there together. But if we prepare for it, we can come out restored and ready. You want to put yourself in a situation so, you don't go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Put your affairs in order so we don't have to experience hell on earth. Which one sounds better to you? Just denying it and saying, oh, this guy on TV, everybody says he's a clown and he's crazy. Or doing your own homework, investigating, seeing if there's a possibility that these things could possibly happen, preparing yourself for the 40-day and 40-night challenge, and then hoping for the best. I've made my choice. Have you? Back in a minute. May I tell you one more thing before we go to break? This is a book I just got the other day. You must get this one too. Sorry, we're keeping the book industry in business. The greatest words ever spoken. It is just the words of Jesus and the stories Jesus said. Without the story form, it's like an encyclopedia. I can't believe somebody didn't come up with this before. For instance, I just looked up in the break, vigilance. Watch out that no one deceives you. You will hear wars and rumors of wars, but see that you are not alarmed, for these things will happen. And at a time, many will turn away from faith and betray and hate each other. Pick this book up. You're going to need it. Since 8/28, it's been 40 days. 40 days. I want you to go to glennbeck.com and sign up for the free Insider Extreme and watch the making of 8/28. It's a full-length documentary, and it is incredible. You will feel its spirit. And this Friday, we spend an entire hour talking to people who have accepted the 40-day and 40-night challenge. But tonight, here are some others who are restoring honor across America.
I started the 40-day challenge right after 8/28. It's been a life changer for me. Faith, I never really made time for God. Now I do. Hope, truth all the time, the little lies are gone. And charity. This is the hardest for me, not because I don't want to tithe, but because I'm not happy with my church's politics. I hope to one day find a new church home.
When I started this challenge, I said, okay, this is going to be a piece of cake. I already pray. I've been praying for 30 years. It never dawned on me that I was just reciting words. I wasn't even really conscious or mindful of the words I was saying. This took it to another level, and I decided to bring my son into this, and we both pray at his bedside. As far as charity, I try to do a little something every day. My husband try to take time off for each other, have a date night. I try to incorporate little things like that with this pledge.
My daughter and Ariane and I were at 8/28. At one point, she turned around and she just gave me this big hug and said, "Daddy, thank you so much for bringing me here."
I asked you to bring your son or daughter so our children can find the giant inside of them.
And I would just whisper to her, "This day is for you. The giants are inside you. Find them. Find them." We're doing the 40-day challenge together, and we're keeping each other accountable. I would want to tell fathers, pray with your daughters. Hug them. Tell them they're wonderful. Tell them they're accepted and that they're loved. Tell them that Heavenly Father wants them to know who they are.
Some pretty shocking things. The ideas of Fabian socialism, basically socialism, but without the revolution. The roots are in Britain, but it is spread here, and you will not believe who follows it. You'll not believe the roots and the masks of the monsters. And Friday, the results of the 40-day, 40-night challenge. Take it yourself and change your life, change your country, one person at a time. From New York, thank you for watching. Good night, America.